So the next part of this is your core values. What are those things that you're not willing to compromise for financial gain? And this is something that if you have employees that work with you, it's important to talk about with them. But my experience is the leader of the company typically takes their values, and usually the corporate or organizational values either very close or very much in alignment with the CEOs. This is very simple idea. This is an office automation business based in Clearwater, and here are theirs. Now the other thing that's really important to do, and it's not really part of what I want to cover today in full, but who's going to disagree with any of these values? They sound really good. So a very useful exercise, especially as you get people coming on board with you and different partners, is to say, okay, what are the behaviors that we're going to be displaying if we're modeling this value of acting with integrity? What are the behaviors that aren't integrity? Behaviors, observable, measurable. So that's like saying, don't lie, don't cut corners, things that we can verify, right? And then what will we be doing with our customers if we're acting with integrity? So with all these sets of values, which are the 25,000 feet, they're hard to argue with, it's really important to get into the behaviors and have those discussions. One of our clients, very successful entrepreneur, we were able to do this with his entire organization of 200 people. Everybody defined those values, asking those 3 questions, and they actually put together a values booklet, and every employee gets that when they join, and everybody signed the value book that they received, and there's no mistake when a supervisor sits down with an employee, not just to talk about results, but do you ever have somebody that gets all the results but gets everybody really angry and upset as they work with them? That's where the value behaviors come into play. So these are very important practical things that shape your effectiveness and also brand you to people in the external world.
You know, it's nice that you put it that way, because I think most entrepreneurs think that it's how it brands you to their customer. And if your intention is to develop a product and, let's say, develop a company to liquidation event, selling a product for, I don't know, let's make it $4,500 a piece. And you're hoping for a liquidation event where some private equity firm would come in and spend $85 million. Who's your largest customer? All of that, both for the company's mission, the company's values, is you, your connection, the CEO, or the founder, or developer, and your personal brand is going to directly impact your ability to make that financial good.
Absolutely, very good point. And this is actually one of the CEOs that we interviewed in our book CEO Road Rules. Kinder Music, based in Greensboro, North Carolina. Some of you might know it. They do great programs for kids, very creative, helping with music and languaging, a variety of things. These were the values of the CEO that was running the company. And he said, you know, that's who I am. I want people that are dedicated to the same thing. Because they're in the learning business, they don't want people working for them that aren't lifelong learners. So their interview process gets shaped by that. The questions they ask. Now, we don't want to, ask leading questions, which I know attorneys love. Where were you on the night of January 27th? You don't want to say, well, tell me, are you a lifelong learner? What is he going to say? Right. Well, what are some of the questions you could ask? Tell me about how you spend some of your spare time. What are some of your accomplishments that you're most proud of? Can you think of a time in your profession where you didn't have information you thought you should have had? How did you handle that? So you're actually using this as well to help bring on people as you get larger. Because the people you bring on are your internal customers. So values are all about what do we stand for, what's our core values. Vision. Vision, your expected learnings, or red vector. Now there's a lot of this number 1 stuff, but a real vision statement is just a headline. We did work for Media General, and a lot of people in the newspaper business that are involved or were involved with Media General. And we talked about if your highest wishes for the organization were realized, what would you see? people took time, they actually wrote down, you know, I said, okay, you're projected 3 to 5 years into the future, you fell asleep, you woke up, you're walking around your business, you're walking around your department, or you're doing something that is related to work. What do you see? And we had 64 people in the room, 8 tables of 8. Each table, each person shared their vision with each other. And then they were asked the question, what were the common themes at your table? Each table group presented their common themes, and then we talked about what those common themes were. Engaged employees, market share, just a host of different things that they saw. And from that, we said, okay, what is the headline? What is your vision statement? So another thing that happens in your branding is that you put a statement up that seems like some of the others or may not have meaning for you. Unless you can talk about those vision themes and integrate those vision themes into your planning, then it just becomes a disconnected statement. So one of the people, this is Visa's when they were first started. Now, missions and values don't really change much, and they shouldn't. But a vision statement needs to change. So John Kennedy said, a man on the moon by the end of the decade. That was a vision. Quite a good vision statement because you benchmark it, right? So we, in fact, had a man on the moon before the end of the decade. Why did the space program flounder right after that? Lack of vision. Lack of articulated vision. People want to know, okay, what's my role in creating this premier system for the electronic exchange of value? Now, Stanford once had their vision as to be the Harvard of the West. Now they would tell you, we exceeded that. Maybe we're better than they are, right? But so these have a timeline. These have a shelf life. But they also need to be something that's attainable.